Toxic people use a specific trick, and I'd like to highlight that so it's less likely you fall victim to it in the future. When we want specific outcomes, we have specific actions, and we usually want to see if the action leads to the outcome that we want. With a bit of luck, we act in a clever way, and that produces a good outcome. If that is the case, we know we can continue doing the good thing. And if we see someone acts in a clever way and they get a good outcome, well, good for them. Now, of course, we're humans, we often make mistakes, we don't know everything, and sometimes we act in a stupid way. When we act in a stupid way, we sometimes get a good outcome, in which case we are lucky. If we're lucky, that's a good thing, and hopefully we learn that we were lucky, and we learn what to change so we can be more clever in the future, and we can increase the probability that we get a good outcome. Now, of course, sometimes things are unfortunate, and we act in a stupid way, and we get a bad outcome. When we get a bad outcome, we move back, reflect about what we did that was stupid, and then, with a bit of luck, we move up to acting in a clever way, so in the future we can get a good outcome. Now, this is being gamed by dishonest people, and let me explain that to you. If we add an extra layer, we've got the actions as we saw before, we have the outcomes, we can have good outcomes if we're being clever, but there's another level that we usually forget, and that level is what are the intentions. We usually assume that people have good intentions, so even if they get a bad outcome, actually they were aiming to get a good outcome, but they made a mistake, they were a bit silly, something went wrong, and so they will correct the behaviors to get better outcomes in the future by acting in a more clever way or in a less stupid way. We observe with some people that time and time again they act stupid and they get bad outcomes and they keep doing the same thing again and again and again. When we see this and we observe that people do not correct the actions, we realize that some people have good intentions and they're just a bit clumsy, and they will correct, they will improve things in the future, and other people actually have bad intentions and their goal is to get the bad outcomes. Why would they do this? Well, maybe when this is the case, we will give them attention, we might try to help, and maybe that is what they want. So the key is to see if they are capable of understanding that acting stupid leads to bad outcomes, and do they want to change something? In which case they will be changing the behavior. But if they keep acting stupid, it's pretty much certain that the goal is a bad intention in order to get a bad outcome. One example with this would be a person who goes to parties, drinks too much, and then ends up flirting with other people or cheating on their partner. So you could say, I don't think it's a good idea for you to drink. Why? Because when you drink, which is a stupid thing, you end up having a bad outcome, and that is a problem. So you would stop drinking, or you wouldn't go to the same parties, or you would do something to change. Now, when the person says, well, it's not my fault, everyone drinks, and it's not my fault if I get the bad outcome, in that case, it's a pretty clear tell that the person wants that kind of outcome. We want to consider when people act in a stupid way and they keep getting bad outcomes, that maybe they want to sabotage their results, maybe they want things to be bad for them because they get some kind of benefit, and maybe they enjoy playing the victim. How can we tell? We observe if they are capable of changing their behavior, changing the actions in order to get better outcomes. If somebody wants good outcomes, they usually figure out how to get the good outcomes. If somebody systematically gets bad outcomes and they refuse to change, or they find excuses why they shouldn't change, or they say, for instance, I'm clumsy, I'm a doofus, I'm not very good at this, and that's just an excuse to not change, in that case, simply consider that their goal is to get the bad outcome because that is what they want. Now, if this is a bad outcome for you, you will consider, do I want to be around a person like this? If there's a pattern of it, probably it's not someone who is being clumsy, probably it's someone who enjoys these dynamics, and they especially enjoy the effect this has on you and how you react. So if you react to it, you are just reinforcing this behavior. If somebody wants to end up being drunk and flirting with other people, then that usually is exactly what they are looking for. And if that isn't something that works for you, then you probably have to consider that this person is not the right person for you.